Testing. What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammock, and welcome to Waving the Red Flag with your favorite self-aware narcissist, Lee Hammock. What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammock, your favorite self-aware narcissist. Welcome to another episode of Waving the Red Flag. First thing we're going to do is bring up my co-host / producer, Miss Jessica Montez.
Hey, everyone. So tonight's topic is co-parenting, aka counter-parenting, right?
Yes, because this is one of the main questions that I get a lot on my YouTube, on my TikTok, Instagram. I get people be tweeting me. Yeah, I'm rarely ever on X, but I get X'd. Like, Lee, can you talk about co-parenting? I'm like, y'all, narcissist. How do you co-parent with a narcissist? It's such a nuanced question because there's no one way to co-parent with a narcissist, y'all. There's literally not one way to co-parent with a narcissist. Shout out Christy for joining the channel memberships. Appreciate it. There's literally not one way to co-parent with a narcissistic person because most narcissists counter-parent you. They like to counter-parent you. They like what I mean by counter-parenting is they go against you just for the sake of going against you. They don't want to co-parent with you. You can't co-parent with somebody who's not cooperating, with somebody who's not trying to cooperate or co-mingle, anything. So they're trying to counter-parent. They're going against the grain to make your life harder because maybe you rejected them. Maybe you hurt their feelings. Maybe they're angry at you. Maybe they wanted to punish you for leaving them or whatever it is. But a lot of narcissistic people they're not interested in trying to co-parent with you and go to sporting events wearing the stepmom, stepdad, dad jerseys. You that dream right there. When you're trying to co-parent with a narcissist, it typically doesn't work that way, y'all. It typically doesn't work that way. It doesn't work out for you. And I hate it. So I'm gonna start this show off with some advice. If you don't have have kids with a narcissist, don't have them with a narcissist. For a lot of y'all in the comment section, I know it's too late, but heed my warning, y'all. This is my warning. Kids don't fix things. I promise you. Kids don't. If you have a hard relationship right now with your narcissist or a toxic person, having a baby by this person, it will get harder. This is not me just like, oh, Lee, you should know that. Lee, you don't know me. I got that WAP or whatever. I'm gonna put the WAP on them and they gonna act right. No. I don't care how WAPy your WAP is. They're gonna mess you up. So can we put that on a t-shirt? Put what? Don't have a baby by a narcissist? That's just, you know what I mean? That happens right there. Two kids too late. Shout out to everybody for joining on for watching on Instagram and TikTok as well. If y'all see on top of my TikTok, if y'all want to, we're doing a live Q&A later on tonight. So if y'all want to hop over to the YouTube channel, the YouTube is at the top of it, at Mental Illness. Same name over here is the same name over there and whatnot. Because we're answering questions directly from the YouTube chat because it's in Facebook because it's a lot easier, y'all, just to coordinate it right here. So the first thing we got up, y'all, is story time. Got some good stories that got sent in from a couple of our subscribers and whatnot. We're gonna have a guest come on as well. So it's time for story time with Lee. Now sit back, get comfortable, and listen while I help make sense of your story. So story time, y'all. Story time. Somebody said way too late. Yeah. I know it's way too late for a lot of y'all. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have one, don't have one. You know, if you don't have a kid with a narcissist, look in the comment section right now and just like, okay, get the vibes. See how many people are happy. You know what? I'm just happy I had a kid with a narcissist. I love making my life harder. If you see one of those comments, start for me, Jessica. So story time, y'all. Hello, this is my story. I was in a relationship with a narcissistic man. We had a child together. He's currently going to be 5 months old. Everything was so amazing in the beginning. He was sweet, always there, all that. But it kind of started turning when I turned 6 months pregnant. He wanted me to stop associating with my friends plus family. It was arguments He would threaten me all day, every day, wish death upon me, and just call me names. Like when he was at the hospital with me, when I was having his child, he would pick up arguments. And after I gave birth, he got mad about how I picked up the baby. This is my second child, and he calls me a dumb bee. Ooh, yeah. So you see at the very beginning of the part right there, a lot of narcissistic people, toxic people out, will try to isolate you away from your friends and family. And yeah, a lot of them will love bomb you to get you, a lot of them will love bomb you to get you to, let you trust that they're going to be a good co-parent. It's going to be a joy to start a family with this person, male, female, whoever. Like literally, they want you to trust them. Like, oh, this is the best person I've ever met. I can't wait to have a child with this person. This is why I tell people to slow down. This is not me specifically talking to her, but slow down, y'all. I've talked to people and they met somebody on Tinder, and 2 weeks later they were pregnant. Like it was a great relationship for 2 weeks, and I got pregnant, and they switched up on me. Slow down, like seriously, y'all. slow down for real, y'all. Because once you get pregnant by them, or once they get pregnant by you, they tend to switch it up on you, because now they feel like they have you trapped. Now it's harder to get me out of your life. Now you can't just run away with my child. I mean, sometimes you can abscond, you can abscond and get away, but sometimes they'll chase you. Those babies lock you in. Those babies lock you into this situation. So you'll be very, very careful. All right. So he called me a dumb bee and then proceeded to act like nothing. It was another incident. He was arguing with me over the phone for hours. He tells me he's coming over the next day. I said, no, I think you should cool off. Then he comes to see my 3-year-old, sees him, and goes outside to play with him. Oh, so he's playing with the stepkid. Hey, yo, the stepkid situation right here too. I'm just like, so a lot of narcissistic people will try to, if you have kids before them, some of them will try to bond with the potential stepchild. They will love bomb your kids as well. If you already have kids, they will love bomb your children as well. They will love bomb them and to get you to fall for them. Oh, look at them. Look at them stepping up. He's not the dad, but he's the dad that stepped up. That type of stuff right there. You see those memes? They're right there. They will love bomb your kids as well. Because he says, he's arguing with the mom, and then he comes over. She looks out the window. He's out there playing with her 3-year-old. That makes it harder to get out of your life. So it's not just having a baby. Sometimes it's them attaching to your kids. He comes into my house. I go into the kitchen. He grabs me from my neck and whispers, if I wanted to, I could have hurt your son. Oh, dear God. So now he's threatening the 3-year-old. I can hurt your 3-year-old. How manly. I think he said that to intimidate me. You think? No, he absolutely said that to intimidate you. Then he goes back into the living room and he acts like nothing. He's playing with me, just weird stuff. I wasn't feeling it. So I told him, I'm good. Off you go. And then he explodes. He takes the baby bottle and tries to take the baby with him. He was just snapping my mother. He was just snapping. My mother convinces him to give her the baby. We all in the house now. He waits for my mom to go outside with the baby, and he spits on me and calls me a dumb bee. Oh, dear Lord, y'all. Y'all see how this person is escalating right here? And leaves the house. Spit on her. Ugh, that's about like spitting, y'all. You gotta see, yeah. Just forewarn y'all. If y'all ever see me in person, y'all spit on me. Y'all might have to see me with the hands. You know, just like I might get handsy because spitting is so disrespectful. I might get handsy. I'm very hands on. And he leaves the house. Now we're going to court, but it's so difficult. I'm tired. He threatened me that he was going to end his life and all that. Yeah. So the emotional manipulation that goes into threatening to take their own life is just something just out of this world, y'all. You see this a lot. A lot of the videos that I share sometimes with people reacting to getting caught cheating, they're like, I don't want to live anymore. Like, will they do it? Highly unlikely. It's not your, like I would say this, y'all, it's not your job to keep this person on earth, if y'all know what I mean. It's not your job to keep them from the pearly gates or from the fiery gates, the fiery pit. That's not your job. If they threaten to unalive themselves, you are not a hostage negotiator. You don't. We do not negotiate with emotional terrorists, because that's what a lot of narcissists are, y'all. They are emotional terrorists, and they will hold your feelings and emotions hostage. Do not negotiate with them. Call the unaliving hotline, or call the police and do a wellness check. Do not go over there yourself, because if let's just say they want to do it. You think they're gonna leave you here? Y'all think they're gonna leave? Y'all think they're gonna leave you here on this earth and just take themselves? No, you're going with them. You're going with them. So no, wellness checks. Don't go like, believe. What if they do it? They're going to take you with them. So if you have other kids, imagine leaving your child behind because you try to keep a toxic narcissistic person from unaliving themselves. Now they took you with them. Now you're not with your child. You see what I'm saying? So that's wild. All right. He threatened me that he was going to end his life, and I'm really so tired. I don't know what to do. I just want him to get help, but he says he got but he says he's got God. That's the help he needs. This whole situation I would have never knew I would be in. Yeah. I promise you I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at God. Y'all know, my journey is a God blessed journey. You know, in God's favor. What you doing, girl? Gifted 5 memberships. Look at you. Thank you. My journey is a God blessed journey, but emotional and spiritual manipulation are highly they happen all the time, y'all. A narcissist or a toxic person will absolutely, you know what I mean, will absolutely just use religion to keep you there. And like, y'all, and this is my religious folks. God, this is not me trying to chastise God again, y'all. I'm a believer, but God, just believing in God is not enough. Y'all know it says faith without works is dead. You know, faith without you have to put the work in. You can't just like, God help me, and just be lazy as hell, and this all you do is ask God for help. You're not putting no other work in. That's not enough. You know, it really is not enough. So in that space right there. So that's what I'm just telling y'all. Faith without works is absolutely dead. It's dying. So people say, I got God. That ain't, y'all. This is not me trying to chastise God. God, you know my heart. And God, I'm putting the work in. I got faith with works. Faith with work. Faith without works is dead. Seriously. But like with them, y'all, they want to try to exhaust you. Like seriously, a lot of narcissistic people, that's their method right there, y'all. Their method is exhaustion. They just want to wear you down. They really want to wear you down. I know you want him to get help, but yeah, do not hold out help that person is going to get help. That's just like, don't hold out hope. Don't watch my channel and be like, well, Lee, you got help. What's different to my person? I'm active. Like my wife can come here and leave me right now, and I'm still gonna go to therapy next week. That is not that's not the thing that's keeping. I want to go to therapy. I want to be better. So just don't I'm just holding out hope that they'll get help, and just God got it, y'all. Y'all gonna live a million. Yeah, look. One of the top 5 regrets of the dying. There's a book called Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The number 1 regret is I wish I had the courage to live the life I wanted and not the life that other people expected of me. Like, is this the life you want? Struggling? You want struggle love for the rest of your life? All right. It's your life. You only get one. You don't get to hit the reset button. I don't like this life. Reset. No, it don't work that way. So shout out to her for sending that story in, y'all. But sometimes you got to go to court and fight. Like take this story as a warning that sometimes you have to go to court and fight, because they were going to try to make you tired. They're going to try to wear you out. And sometimes, y'all, and a lot of times they don't even really want to be parents. They just want to make your life harder. They don't. Ask yourself this question right here. Do they really want to be an active parent, or do they just want to make my life harder? Because a lot of the times the answer is going to be they just want to make my life harder. Yeah, a lot don't care about their children. I ain't gonna say all of them don't, but a lot don't, y'all. It's really about trying to hurt you or get you back. My narc said he hated kids. My narcissist said he hated kids but chased single mothers. Yeah, that happens all the time, y'all, because they feel like you need them. They want to play the hero role. Nobody's gonna want you because you have a kid, right? But guess who wants you? Me. So that happens right there. So Shout out to her for sending that story in, y'all. Like I said, if y'all are watching on TikTok, I'm trying to peek over here, but like hop over to the YouTube channel and y'all can put the questions in the comment section over here. It's a lot easier to keep them in one consolidated place, y'all. Seriously. So shout out to her. Next thing I got coming up.
So we have some questions. Go ahead and put your questions in for Lee, and we'll answer some questions and comments here. Let's see.
If the narc gives you the floor and lets you get it all out, is that the final discard? So this is my perspective on that, y'all. The final discard is up to you. You determine whether or not it's the final discard. Is this enough for you? You know, how much more pain do you got in you? How much more hurt do you have in you? Because they'll come back as often as you let them come back. They will absolutely. If you let them come back, they will come back. Why wouldn't they? They're getting their needs met. You are not. You know, you are not getting your needs met, but they're getting theirs met. So that's what's like. Why wouldn't they keep coming back? You know, the final discard is up to you. I know it sounds unfair, but like this not fair. Yeah, life is one of those things that are just not fair. You know, just in that space right there. So. Aren't they usually atheists or agnostics? No, not usually. No, I'm telling y'all, you will see some highly religious, narcissistic people because y'all, and a lot of narcissists will actually go after religious people because, like, it's gonna sound bad, but like because religious people, a lot of religious people, because you don't. I mean, I know what people are gonna say, like you don't actually see God, but when I say you don't see him, you don't need the evidence that God exists for his faith. You know, I know people say the earth, the sky, the air you're breathing is evidence, but y'all, you don't need the actual, like, that's God right there. You know, so you don't actually need the actual evidence that God is right here in front of you. So they will play on your faith. God sent this message. How you know God didn't tell me this? You don't believe in God? They will use your faith against you. They will weaponize your faith against you, y'all. Like, that's being realistic. How do I act doing visitation with my kid? I haven't seen him in a year. Do I act like I don't care? I wish he would stay out of my life. So you haven't seen him in a year. So, wait, so I need some. Wait, which role are you playing in this? Are you haven't seen the kid in a year, or you haven't seen him in a year? So that's a very nuanced question right there. So what direction are you coming from? Because if you are the primary parent and that person has been gone for a year and just popping back up for visitation, then I feel like you just act like you. Don't act like you. I just feel like don't try too hard to act like you don't care. Just be vigilant. You know, just stay within yourself right there.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, he left me at 5.5 months pregnant, and now he's come back a year later. So don't fall for the trap of him coming back into your life to try to get to the family, because sometimes they'll come see the kid and just like, why can't we make it work? You know what I really want? I want my family back. I really want my family. I messed up and I left with 5. Y'all, and so many people fall for this shit. I'm just being real. I hear this story. This is one of the most common stories. Like, they left me while I was pregnant and they came back and they told me everything that I wanted to hear. I gave them a chance and they wasted 2, 3, 10 years of my life. So if they left you while you were 5.5 months pregnant and you're in your time of need, they will leave you again. So keep your boundaries up.
Oh. And then a quick.
Yeah, it's the same girl.
Mm-hmm.
He just left his girlfriend that he left me for. So of course, so Amanda, can I call you Mandy? Mandy. I'm gonna call you by Amanda because this is serious. Don't let that man come back into your life because he just left his girlfriend that he left you while you were pregnant for. Don't let that man come back into your life and ruin your life. Don't let him come back. I see that y'all. This is a foreshadowing. That I just said he's gonna do it. I said that. I just like they typically they want their family back, and now he's making every move to show you that he wants his family back. No, he left you while you were pregnant. Let that man leave him on the outside looking in, or you're going to regret it. And this is me just saying, you are going to regret if you let that man back into your life and try to prove himself to you. But Lee, what if he proves himself? No, he proved himself when he left you. That's him. He left you while you were pregnant for another woman. Y'all, and this is my warning to the women out there. Y'all, if you are just meeting the person and they got a newborn or their partner is pregnant, y'all, y'all, if they literally, let me get mine over here. If they have a newborn, like the baby just came out the womb, the umbilical cord still attached, and like, or their ex is pregnant. My ex is pregnant, but it ain't that serious. They just left their pregnant. I know everybody's situation is different, but the fact that they just left their pregnant ex, or they got a newborn, y'all just give yourself some space right there. That's just me being real. Give yourself some space. Yeah, because yikes, that gets rough. Yes, red flag city, y'all. Just please. My what is it? My ex brought one of his smuts to the hospital. So, dear Lord, no, so if he wasn't escorted off the premises, Vanessa, like you got to be escorted off the premises in an embarrassing fashion. I don't want him here. Because unless you the type of person that sound like, because I've talked to Vanessa before, that type of person that'll have, how you giving birth, they try to get the dad or whatever to hold the leg up, like, come on, dad, hold the leg up, help him get. You want the new supply holding the other leg? That's what it sounds like gonna be. He'll be hold one leg, and his new chick will be hold the other leg. Push out my step baby. Push my step baby out. Imagine the new supply being the first person to hold, like they catch your baby. That last push and the new supply catch your baby, like imagine that. God, is a horrible thought to have right there. Yeah. Oh God. Go ahead and wrap the baby in a red flag. Baby come right out in the red flag. Here's the blanket. Skin, look, under the shirt, the skin. Look, skin to skin. With your baby. God, no, not skin to skin with the new supply. God, that's be so horrible. Sorry, I get very imaginative. So it baby red. Yes.
Nickname red.
Oh my goodness. Skin to skin with the new supply. Sorry, y'all. I get carried away sometimes. Sorry.
So we have another story time, and this will be our guest tonight as well.
So the next story time is the prelude to our guest. I'm opening the baby bottle, y'all. Goodness. Okay, story time. Talking about co-parenting. So this is a step co-parenting with his kids, how they use his kids to triangulate. So this is a woman, she met a guy, and she's this coming from the step parent perspective as well. So yes, I was with my ex-boyfriend for 5 years. I kicked him out on July 20th of this year after finally getting proof that he cheated with a coworker. By the way, he got me a job where he worked a year ago, and he quit the job 2 weeks before I was told by my supervisor that he was messing with people at work. So he knew. So this is why him cutting bait right here. He knew. He quit his job because he about to get told on by the supervisor about to tell that you cheating. What kind of the supervisor? Damn. The supervisor. So now I have to work there with the affair partner. Y'all see how to do it right there? They don't care how they, like, y'all narcissistic people, they don't care how they make you look. She did dump him when she found out about me. So shout out to her. I messaged her on Facebook, and she confirmed that they dated for 3 months and sent me a text that he sent her saying I was the landlord. So wow, she was his landlord. So I copied and pasted it on his messenger and told him to come get his shit. He literally found his and his daughter's things outside. Oh, shout out to her. Your power move. Pack it up. Pack it, pal. Pack it up. Seriously, pack it up. Pack it. You got to pack it up sometimes. Pack it up for them, or they take their time. But be very careful about packing their stuff, because they always say that you miss something or there's something else left behind. They have a reason to try to talk to you. That always happens. Where's this? Where's that? You left this out. His daughter is also a narcissist, and I believe I suffer narcissistic abuse from both of them, which is a really cruel considering I'm disabled. So yeah, narcissists sometimes raise other narcissistic or toxic children, y'all. She moved in with us when she was 16. She stole many things from me, and I put cameras up in the front room, in my room. Well, that caused a war zone, and she started acting worse, and so did he. Why you recording us? They don't want to be on camera, y'all. Why you got to record us? Why you can't just handle it on your own? He allowed her behavior and was angry that I was watching him, even though I wasn't specifically watching him. I was trying to make sure she didn't steal anything else. But this is what happens sometimes with narcissistic kids. When narcissists have kids, they get embarrassed by their kids' behaviors. But instead of trying to correct the kids' behaviors, they take it out on the person that's trying to hold them accountable. You know, the teacher, the step parents, they take it out on them. Instead, why you trying to parent my kid? It's not your kid. You know, instead of trying to course correct their own behaviors, their own children's behaviors, they get angry and just rage out on the other teacher or like the teacher or the step parent or whatnot.
Yeah, I actually have an instance of that. One time, she was yelling at me. His daughter was yelling at me, and I was like, "Why are you letting her talk to me like that?" And instead, he pinched me, told me to be quiet and stop.
Yep. See?
Exactly.
See? Real life. See, real life. He even called me names on the camera a week before I found out he was cheating. So I have a video I posted it today about guilty conscience and narcissists on my YouTube channel, y'all. They'll start acting weird when they're doing horrible stuff, when they're behind the scenes. In 2019, he got fired from a job and checked himself into a psych ward. He stayed there for 2 weeks to get his mind right. They sent him home with meds, and those affected him in that he would fall asleep at 4 p.m. And he didn't like the way it made him feel, so he stopped taking them. There you go. They always stop taking them. When they stop taking them, they revert back to their old behaviors. In January 2020, he said that when he was in the psych ward, the social worker told him they could help him get an apartment close to where his kids live with their mother at the time, and that he needed to be with his kids. So I didn't want to stand in his way of being near his kids, and agreed that he should do it, even though I was heartbroken and felt like we were breaking up. He moved out, and I only saw him 3 times that year. Wow. He blamed it on COVID, but of course, I found out the truth after I kicked him out, that he was living in the house with another woman. Oh, boy, they be lying their asses off. Boy, they be lying. They be lying. This is like, I got to move closer to my kids, and he's living with her, then he got to move out to live close to his kids, and I can only see you 3 times a year because it's COVID. He manipulated, lied, and cheated the whole time we were together, I believe. I didn't want to believe it, and I didn't want to lose him, so I kept believing the lies and manipulation. He was a good liar, and I always had an answer for everything. So I don't know if he was a good liar right there. So I don't know how good a liar he was if you choosing to believe the lies. You see what I'm saying? Well, I don't think he was a good liar. He just lies a lot. And he was good at flipping shit on me. Like when I confronted him in July about cheating, he had me doubting myself and said I was listening to rumors. I've been no contact since August 13th. There you go. Anyways, I know I had one-on-ones with you twice, and I appreciate your help and wanted to share the whole story as much as you had time for. There you go. So yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to Tanya.
Tanya, I'm sorry. I hit it too so bad. Welcome, Tanya.
Welcome. Thanks. What is going on?
Not much.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say, so you have experience with not necessarily co-parenting, but being, in the household with a child with the narcissist, and it's a different type of co-parenting. It's it's a battle. It turns into a battle of triangulation between the children and the. I just wanted to let you tell your story about that.
He did not parent at all. It was bad because he let her do whatever she wanted, literally. And me try to set boundaries like not letting her steal from me. That caused it caused a war zone in the house for sure.
Yeah, anytime you try to set boundaries on their kids, it's because a lot of narcissists see their children as reflections of themselves. Mm-hmm. When they are misbehaving, it embarrasses them and brings shame on them, right? But so when you're trying to set boundaries on the kids, it's like you're trying to set a boundary on him. You know, it's trying to, if like when you're trying to set a boundary and course correct some bad behaviors in their mind, it's like, I'm acting bad. She's telling me I'm not a good parent because she's correcting my child here. So she's inherently saying that I'm a bad parent. So I'm going to take it out on her. You know, so they will lash out on you because when you try to set boundaries on their kids, if you're not even if you are the real parent, if you are the biological parent, they'll do it. But especially if you're like the step parent or you're just trying to, y'all are, you know, in a relationship, you're trying to, you know, make things work that way.
Yeah, I was just trying to make this work. You know, I know that I wasn't her favorite person or anything. I wasn't trying to take her mom's place or any of that kind of thing. Just, I was tired of my things being stolen, thrown away, you know, like I'm tired of it. So,
but when you were packing,
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, when you were packing her stuff, didn't you find some of your stuff?
Yep. And I kept my stuff out of it.
Yeah. So when she was packing up the daughter stuff, she was finding stuff that the daughter had stolen from her.
Oh yeah.
In that stuff.
And lots of disturbing things I found too. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Found drugs in her room, alcohol.
Oh.
What?
She was 17 too, right? Wasn't she?
Yeah.
Y'all see.
Do you want to share one of the things she stole too? That was weird and disturbing.
Adult toys.
Oh, Jesus. She stole some adult.
Yeah.
That's a very unique thing to steal right there. Well,
yeah. And when I told him that she did it, his response literally was, well, we could sterilize it.
Oh, dear God.
And I just went, no, we can't. That's your daughter? That's just sick.
that is super sick. But like you just see, like in spaces like that, it can be, I can see, I remember talking to you, it can be very difficult to put them out as well as the kid, because you see why she's that way, you know.
Yeah,
you see exactly why she's that way. So sometimes you can start to feel bad for them, you know, just because like, damn, I feel bad for this young woman, this young girl, because her father, that she never really had a chance, you know, because she has a father like this that's running around like living his life in this wild, rambunctious way and refuses to hold her accountable, because accountability for his daughter means accountability for him, and that means shame brought on him. Like that means shame. There's more shame towards him. There's more, you know, it's hatred towards himself and things like that. So they really will, you know, that's how it goes a lot of times in those situations.
And that's why he would never discipline her, is he didn't want to be held accountable to or something.
Oh yeah, that's why he didn't want. When you hold her accountable, it's holding him accountable, and that hurts his feelings. It really makes him feel like he's not good enough. Like that sends. It's kind of like when you tell him to go sit in the corner over there with a dunce cap on. You know, he puts his little dunce cap on and goes sits in the corner, just like face turn around. You don't get to see us having fun, like in school. You know, face the wall.
And she may not have been using the toys necessarily, but it could just be a way to annoy you, you know, or like, you know, I mean, I like the triangulation goes pretty deep, you know. It's kind of a game where they know the things that trigger you to get you upset, to get the arguing going between you. You know, it's just so it might not, you know, just to throw that out there. She may not be using the toys. Everybody seems pretty disturbed.
I just threw them out when I found it, like gloves and everything, and threw it in a trash bag and threw it in a dumpster.
Yeah.
Away from the house, because I knew she would go dig through the trash too.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah.
So where was the mom at in this situation?
The mother lived somewhere else, but the mother ended up being an alcoholic who passed away 5 days after I kicked him out.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah. So all this happened to them like in less than a week.
Oh wow. So you see in that space right there, that is so bad right there. Like there's more trauma. Like I said, that little girl like literally had it sucks, but like she really she doesn't have a chance right there, you know.
Yeah.
Even in that space right there, because of how she's living, because like, you know, just her parents, like something, you don't get to choose who you don't get to choose who your parents are.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to pick your parents, and she got, you know, sometimes you get a bad roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Especially at 17 and living the way that she's living and behaving the way that she's behaving. Like there's like, it's kind of just what kind of hope do you have right here? What's the future look like?
Yeah.
It's really sad.
So has he tried to reach out to you since you in no contact? I think he did, didn't he? Because I think didn't he try to say you stole his PlayStation or something like that?
Yeah, he left a checklist in my mailbox like 3 weeks later of things that I supposedly didn't pack, which PlayStation 4 was the top of the list, and that was one of the first things packed. So I know he got it.
Yeah.
He was really pissed off he didn't get the TV or a guitar, but the guitar I bought. The TV, though, it turns out he basically stole a TV from a coworker also. The coworker asked me if I'd heard from him, and I was like, not since I kicked him out. And he goes, oh, well, he still owes me money for the TV. So, because he came home one day with the TV saying that his buddy at work gave him a TV.
Oh, gave him a TV.
But he was actually supposed to pay for it, never paid for it.
That's so messy. But like I said, they will lie. They will just continue to lie about little stuff like that, just for no reason. A lot of you get the pathological lying narcissistic person that lies when the truth will work. Hey baby, bought this TV from Bill at work. Got a couple more payments. Got a couple more payments to make, but no, but he gave me this TV,
which sounded stupider. Like, who's gonna give you a TV? Like, it's just weird.
You don't have friends that just give you TVs?
I don't.
So you get better friends. My friends give me my friends give me TVs all the time.
I need to get better friends then.
Yeah. My friends throw TVs at me.
Insane, right?
yeah. That's why I would go though. But like I said, but the daughter hasn't tried to reach out though, has she? Okay. Because what do you know where they moved to? Because like I said, it just in that space.
What I heard was he lives with. Well, I heard they moved in with his son and his son's girlfriend in a 1-bedroom apartment. But I don't know if that's still where he's at. I bet he's got somebody else by now that he's living with or working on trying to move in with.
Yeah, that's typically how it works right there. They'll just set it up to that point where they, no, when you get a lying desperate narcissist, like they will love bomb you and just have nowhere to go. But they'll be the most loving, kind person in the world right there. And they'll also use their kids as leverage too. Like me and my daughter, I'm just single dad. Mom passed away very recently. I don't have anything else. Like we have nowhere else to go. It's just like, oh, live with me, gotcha.
Yep. And I know that's what he's doing. He's playing victim and using the ex-wife's death and everything.
Yeah, they tend to weaponize that type of stuff right there, and it happens quite a bit.
Yeah. He's probably saying he's a widower,
Oh,
that was his wife that died or something.
Oh goodness,
he's probably doing that.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if he did do that right there.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise.
Yeah, just within that space. Just within that space. But like I said, just trying to, what do you feel like is the most difficult thing when you're trying to help him parent his daughter and whatnot? Because I know when he quit his job, were you ever alone with her and had to tell her try to give her direction or something like that?
No, I basically tried to not give her direction because I felt like it was his job, his daughter. He should be the one to deal with her.
Yeah.
Especially when she started stealing and the behavior started getting worse. Because it started out like when we first started dating, like pranks, like weird things like turning the thermostat to 50 degrees.
Oh my God.
Which is really weird. And I told him, like, why, this was set at 55 degrees. So you need to tell him and her and her brother not to mess with the thermostat. And he did tell them that. And I wasn't sure which kid was doing it at first. Was it my kid or his kids? Because he had a boy and a girl. That they used to both come over on the weekends, every other weekend, and they would do stuff like that, or they would break dishes and put them in the cabinet broken,
Oh,
like stuff like that my kid doesn't do. So
yeah. But
must be his, because
I
it
wonder,
happens when his kids are around.
but how could you explain at all, Lee, why they might behave this way, like the kids, and out kind of.
so, a lot of times in these spaces like this, a lot of narcissistic parents don't give their kids attention, so they get attention starved and they start acting out to get attention. Yeah, there's no reason. You're not that hot to turn the thermostat down to 50 degrees. You're just trying to get. You want somebody to notice that you did it and try to correct you so you can deny it, but that brings you the attention that you want, that you are looking for. So they will start behaving erratically and doing things like that, acting up just so somebody will notice them. Just as somebody, not necessarily to get in trouble, but just so people can notice them. They start doing the attention-seeking behaviors.
Wow.
So it does start to ramp up like that, because a lot of narcissists, when they're raising the kids, they just give them tablets and just disconnect. There's no emotional, they're not nurturing them. They just give them something like that.
Yeah, he always acted like he loved his kids so much and wanted to be with his kids, but once they were here, he really didn't pay attention to them. They were just watching TV. That would be about it, and maybe watch TV together, but he didn't really do things with them or do special activities with them.
Yeah, he was just a parent. He wasn't really a father. He just had kids.
Yeah.
They'll fight for custody, but like I said, sometimes you get narcissists in co-parenting situations. They'll fight for custody of their kids just to put them in front of the TV and disconnect, just so they can just say that they're a parent. Like, I'm a parent. You can't say I'm not, even if they just not doing anything to interact with them. You're just sending them to school and making them dinner and not even having conversations with them. Just that type of stuff right there. Be in the same household, but don't know their kids like at all. That happens. That happens all the time in these spaces, in these relationships.
Yeah, and his only thing that he would do to bond with the kid, I don't even know if it's really bonding, but they would go out and smoke marijuana together. Go outside and smoke.
She didn't really have a chance right there. There's not parenting at all. But like I said, sometimes they'll fight for custody, and they really don't want to be parents. They just want to have kids. That it happens quite a bit though in that space.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tanya, for coming on and sharing your story. I appreciate hearing the other side of this as well. Not just the co-parenting, but understanding the other co-parenting. Which
the dynamic. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. Like seriously, just keep that no contact going on. I know that's extremely tough to do right there.
I'm trying. It's getting easier every day, at least.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great night. Thanks, Tanya.
Y'all have a good night.
Oh, you too. Yeah. Right. Shout out to her for coming on here, y'all. But like seriously, because that can be extremely tough to do right there. Trying to co-parent with a narcissistic person in that space. What's the point of having children? To fill a void. Sometimes having kids makes them feel human. They just want to have kids because it makes them feel like a person. Oh, I have kids, so I'm a person. I'm real. And sometimes they have kids because they feel like kids offer them unconditional love and like a pet. And they have kids just to have around, just give them love. How do you move on and still bother your ex to take you back? Wait, what happened?
That's a confusing question.
Do you want your ex to come back? It was a little wild one. Why is the new supply getting treated better? I mean, in the beginning of relationships, everybody gets treated better, y'all. It's just that's just how that's the flow of relationships. Like you put your best foot forward. But I've said this in some of my videos before. Like narcissistic people put their best like peg leg forward. It's the best foot, but it's like a peg leg. You raise they raise up that pants leg and it's like wooden. You're like, that shit ain't real. That ain't a real leg. And it happens right there. So it's just within that space. How does a parent deal with having a child that is a narcissist? That right there is extremely tough to do right there, y'all. Because That's a very tough question to answer because every child that's a narcissist is, a lot of times the parents contribute to them being narcissistic. So just they if they know something is wrong with them, they typically blame the parents for what is going on with them, for how they turned out, for their life and whatnot. Sometimes they wield it as a sword against you as adults. Like they feel like you mistreated them as kids, they wield that as a sword against you as an adult. They use it against you. It's like, oh, you did this to me, bam. You don't get to see your grandkids, bam. They flip the script and they try to flip the power dynamic on you. So it's very tough to do, but you still have to kind of set boundaries and still deal with them like that in that way if you're trying to stay in their life, which most people try to do. My narc is in the hoovering stage after I discarded him. Calls, texts, contact from friends, and voicemails from unknown called. How long will this last? Till you crack or till you force them to stop? They can last. It can last for a long time, y'all. Sometimes there's no end in sight. It's like you're in the woods, in the dark woods, in dark forest, and sometimes you have to force them to leave you alone. If they keep blowing you up, you might have to send that one last message that please leave me alone. And then anything after that becomes harassment. I think in some states you got to check. I'm not a lawyer, but check the state laws and whatnot. So if y'all like on my TikTok and my Instagram, folks, like we're doing a Q&A over on Instagram. No, not Instagram. We're doing a Q&A over on YouTube. The YouTube is right here. It's at Mental Illness. Check out the YouTube. Come drop some comments in the comment section and make sure y'all like and subscribe. Thank y'all for being here. Why do some narcissists threaten to withhold finances after being a good provider for the last 4 years? That's control to make sure that you know who's in charge. That's a control tactic right there. Financial abuse is a real thing in toxic relationships, y'all. Well, why does mine use the people I've dated before against before? Yeah, you follow me on YouTube. You can watch my video this morning. This morning's video about double standards and your past matters. This literally my video this morning. Y'all don't look at my uploads. It's the insecurities bubbling to the surface, y'all. So they use your past relationships to justify their current behaviors. I'll say that. That happens right there. Should you even let the children interact with a narcissist parent? Now, sometimes you don't have a choice. Should you let them? Sometimes you don't have a choice. The law will come in there, and if you try to keep them from them, you'll get that parental alienation, and they'll hit you. It's like, oh, they're alienating me. Gotcha. You'll be very careful in that situation right there. So,
and speaking of that, I actually wanted to share a tool with everybody called it's our Family Wizard, and it's a tool that helps you co-parent. That so this might be worth checking out. It helps you with calls, helps with monitoring calls or making sure you schedule calls, messages for doctor appointments and things like that you need to communicate with each other. It has a calendar of all the events, what's going on in school. You can share all this information without actually having to communicate with each other. Also expenses if you guys are having to split, softball or medical bills. That's all in there too. And also it has like the insurance information. Everything is stored here. You can keep a journal, and your journal can be your own journal to look at. So these are all great tools. It's a great tool to use for co-parenting, and it's about $12.50 a month. But they also have some plans where you can go get like a fee waiver if you need. So if necessary, if you need assistance, they're able to help with that as well. So just something I wanted to share with you guys as a little tool. If you guys think of any more, put them in the comments below to help other people figure out other ways to communicate with a toxic partner. That's all I got.
So it's My Family Wizard?
Our Family Wizard.
Our Family Wizard. So check that out, ourfamilywizard.com. Y'all check that site out. Like I said, if y'all on my TikTok or my Instagram, hop over to the mind going blank. Hop over to the YouTube. We're doing a Q&A here in a few minutes. More open Q&A. Yes. So the next thing we got come up is a question from the email, right?
Yes. We have an email question.
So, have an email question. The person says, I've recently served my narcissistic ex baby daddy agreement papers for him to sign, stating that I didn't want him bringing third parties unless he was in a relationship for 1 year. Our son is about to be 1, and I realized that his mom is enabling his behavior. Now I can't trust my son's grandma or my baby daddy. He bought his new girlfriend today to drop my son off after he saw the agreement I sent him. What should I do? So yeah, that's he doesn't have to. I mean, just being realistic, he doesn't have to sign that agreement, you know, because in the mind of a narcissist, it's like you trying to control who I date, you know. It's just like you trying to control. I know what this person's trying to do. I guess you want to monitor who coming in and out of your child's life, but you very rarely do they sign something like that, because if they sign something like that, they might send the same thing back to you, but it doesn't mean they have to follow that. Because how do you enforce that right there? You know, you can't really enforce that situation right there. Like, oh, he broke this right here, and trying to get them to do something about that in family court and things like that is very, very difficult, y'all. So you can suggest that he signs an agreement and says, oh, you can't bring somebody around my child until they're one, until you've been with them for a year. They're going to buck against that anyway. He might not ever sign that, you know. He wouldn't sign that. And the grandma being an enabler, that happen, that happens so much in these spaces, that the grandma, the toxic, you know, the parent on the other side, the toxic grandparent, they do enable the behaviors a lot. Can be the worst flying monkeys, you know, because just like that example of Tanya came on here and just said that it's like when you try to correct their children, they take offense to it. So the same thing, like narcissistic parents rarely ever view their own children as adults. So when you try to correct her adult son, if she's narcissistic herself, she takes it as an insult to you, insult to her. So she's gonna buck against you too. You know, my baby didn't do nothing. That type of mood right there. Like they can do no wrong, even if they are doing wrong. So it's just like you like I said, talk to an attorney and see what you can do to enforce that. But like a lot of times right there, y'all, that's just something that you want. He doesn't have to agree to that right there. You know, you just said he brought his girlfriend around. He's going to keep doing that type of stuff because he knows that it is going to mess with you. And if you try to keep this son away, I'm just telling you, they're going to try to file some alienation charges on you. So certain things, I feel like you in these situations like this, when you're trying to co-parent, you have to control what you can control. You can't control who he brings around and who he doesn't bring around, y'all. Just being realistic, you know, because a lot of courts will just say that's his time. He can do what he wants with his time, you know. He can come pick the baby up and just leave him with the mama the whole time. But sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, because they'll say, well, you agreed to give him 50% custody and he can do what he wants doing his 50%. You can't control that. So control what you can control and make sure you have a good relationship with your kids, you know, and talk to them.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Bless you.
But yeah.
And mental illness. Can you answer a question about the family members who thinks that it's wrong to leave the toxic relationship? So somebody must ask the question. So I want to grab it.
So can you answer a question about the family members who think you are wrong for leaving a toxic relationship? They don't know you. I mean, they don't, like I said, the family members, they can say what they want to say, y'all, but unless they know the exact dynamics of what's going on, sometimes they're always going to try to keep the family together. You know, especially if it's from the older generation. Oh God, you know, in the older generation, they never left. A lot of them didn't leave their relationships, no matter how abusive or toxic they were. So they just stayed in them. So they expect you to stay in them. You know, well-intended bad advice keeps a lot of people in toxic relationships, or peer pressure, family pressure. You know, you shouldn't leave their relationship. You're gonna be by yourself. Be hard to find somebody else. You know, they apply pressure, and sometimes they'll take the side of the person you're leaving. So sometimes you might have to get your scissors, like, man, start cutting people off, and that's tough to do, y'all, because sometimes it's your parent or your siblings or your best friends. They take the side of the person who might have abused you, and it's going to upset a lot of y'all, you know. But you gotta when you leave a relationship, sometimes you have to cut off. You have unexpected people you got to cut off. He's like, really? You gonna cut me out? You want me to stay with this abusive person? Yeah, you know, maybe you overreact. No, snip. Yep. What if they just don't want to deal with the children at all? Do you think eventually they will get the law involved? So in what space is that? What if they just don't want to deal with the children at all? What do you mean? Would they get the law involved? How so? Like, I feel like that's a little extra razzle dazzle on that right there. Because like, do the narcissist? You thought the narcissist doesn't want the parent? Would they get the law involved? How so though? You know, why would they get the law involved if they don't want the parent? I'm just a little confused by that one a little bit. Just sorry.
I'll look for her response. And so now we have some voice messages. Let's see. I'm gonna some questions. Here we go. Here's our first.
Hi. So I have been married to a manipulator, a deceiver for over 5 years. And just recently, I decided to separate for the third time because of cheating. We are 4 kids in, and my question to you is, we are not separated just yet. He doesn't know that I'm going to put him on child support, but what types of things should I look out for, being that we are kind of in the middle of a really big lawsuit? It's dealing with one of our children and just like neglect on behalf of the hospital. So it's just like a really big deal. I am pretty sure he is cheating and has a new supply by now because, again, this is about the fourth time that this has happened during our marriage. And I mean, he and I haven't been physical and since we separated 4 months ago. So, what types of things should I look out for? How do you think he's going to move with finding out that I'm putting him on child support? And also, like, what tips do you have for parents co-parenting with a narc just to protect the kids?
I apologize. I put that one on last week, but it's still relevant for this week if you missed
Yeah,
last
yeah. I was like, I actually answered. So in these spaces right here, every time you try to put a narcissistic person on child support, they're probably, I mean, not every time. Most times they're going to fight it. Sometimes they will just rather pay the child support than be a parent. But a lot of times, if they're very money motivated or money hungry or controlling the money, they will fight you tooth and nail for every single penny in court. You know. And plus, this person probably think you leaving him to try to get that if the settlement money. He's like, oh, you trying to get more of the settlement money because you'll be by yourself in that space right there. So that happens quite a bit as well, y'all. So they will try to control the narrative in those spaces. So even with a new supply, that doesn't mean that they'll leave you alone. Sometimes the new supply knows about you. They really, really do. So thanks for sending that in. Shout out to Forever Beautiful for the donation to the channel. So thank you. She says, my ex-narc asked for primary custody to avoid paying child support. Moved his mom in as a nanny for the kids. He left the state. So glad I left them. So did he get primary custody, or he moved his mom in to be the nanny? Did he leave the state with the kid? So I'm just like, so there's so many questions right there in that space right there. So a lot of them, like I said, when they are very money motivated, they will ask for more custody, because I think some of them think this is how it works. I think even if they have more custody, the money matters. Like if they, like I said, so they might even have to pay child support if they have more custody, if the money is unmatched in some states. You know, in some of these states, like you can have 50-50 custody, and if you make more than your partner, you still have to pay child support. Like, well, we got half the time. Like the child support is to make so the kids have equal living environments at both places. You know, it's not a strain or big changes and whatnot. So, but they will try to file for full custody. And like I said, a lot of times they don't even really want to be parents. They just want to have kids, you know? So thanks for sending it in. Like, seriously, but you want to add something to it, do that too.
Another question. How do you deal with someone, the narc, who's like actively counter parenting? Not the opposite of co-parenting, you know, the counter parent, and it's just so difficult. There are classes for that.
So when a narcissistic person is trying to counter parent you out, it's gonna sound stupid, but sometimes it's gonna sound really, really silly. But sometimes you have to reverse psychology people like that. You know, it's gonna sound really, really silly. This doesn't work for everybody, but sometimes you have to reverse psychology things like that. If you want to get them to do something, you have to act like you don't want to do that. Hey, I really don't want you to take them to this class right here. I'm gonna have them to class anyway. It really makes me uncomfortable when you pick them up on the weekends. I want to come get them every weekend. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes if they're you can kind of like reflect their counter parenting back on them in that space right there. Because they're trying so hard to make your life harder because you want to do something or you want to parent a certain type of way. Sometimes like it's just like you have to pick and choose your battles. Like every battle is not worth. You got to ask yourself, okay, do I need to pick up my sword and go to battle right now? You know, if it's something little, you have to kind of let it fly sometimes. But like the big stuff, That's why sometimes you have to get these parenting agreements and look into parallel parenting, where like, because if you're parallel parenting, like the communication between y'all is extremely low anyway in these spaces, and like you parent the way that you want to parent, and then it sucks, but you have to let them parent the way they're going to parent. You know, it really, really is. It really, really does suck sometimes. You have parents, we have kids by toxic, narcissistic parents like that, like for real.
Hey Lee, my name is Janine, and I have a question. I've been with my narc for 10 years, and I'm just now at the point where I am leaving. Um, we do have a kid together, but our kid lives with my mom due to the problems in the relationship. Um, I was diagnosed BPD, and I have zero coping skills, so I feel things 10 times more than normal people do. And I was wondering if you all have any advice that you can give me on how I can do this without going back. Thank you.
Without going back, I just feel like this is a situation. I mean, having BPD makes it extremely tough. If y'all don't know what BPD is, it's borderline personality disorder, and a lot of times borderline people end up with narcissists. It's just a toxic dance that happens a lot, and it's very, very hard for borderline people to disconnect from narcissists. So in these spaces right here, what you said you lack, I feel like you already know what you lack. You just said it yourself. You said I lack coping skills. I just feel like that's what you have to work on. If you feel like that's what you lack, if that's the chink in your armor, then you have to fix that chink in your armor. You have to work on the things that you feel like you lack in these spaces in order to be strong enough to have some discipline to not go back into the relationship, because discipline is what keeps you out of here, y'all. Making a plan, staying disciplined, and sticking to it. Especially like you said, your kid lives with your mom because the relationship we get that toxic. That's when it gets that toxic, where your kid has to live with your mom, somebody's probably gonna end up losing their life in that space right there. Those relationships tend to escalate to domestic violence situations. Somebody ends up getting hurt and losing their life.
Oh, sorry.
One more.
We have one more. Yeah.
Hi, Lee. I'll just call myself JR. I had recently been in a relationship for 13 years, and it was a very physical on her end and emotionally abusive on her end. She was removed many times by police and Children's Aid Society. And within the past 2 months, I decided I was done with the situation. My whole life's just been turned upside down. I haven't seen my children since October 7th. It's just been hard. Actually, the day that she left, I was listening to another channel about narcissism, and her name is The Game Exposed. And my ex narcissist had come downstairs after I avoided her 3 times that day. She kept following. So she ended up following me downstairs a third time, and she so happened to hear me listening to a video about a narcissism. It set her off. She flipped out. She started accusing me of gathering evidence against her. It was like this whole plot. It set her off. That day we broke up, and the whole reason that it happened is because she found out that I came across what narcissism was. I've always heard the term. I never knew what it meant until I came across yours and another channel's videos explaining what narcissism is, and it gave me clarity. I never understood what I was dealing with. I've never encountered a person in my life other than my mother who's acted this way. Unfortunately, now I'm going without my children. I'm fighting, climbing mountains just to hear their voice over the phone. And like I said, she's been removed many times. My children, actually, when we broke up, were in my care, and we had Children's Aid coming over, and I said I would prefer not to send my children for a visit until Children's Aid Society shows up. Me, I'm the type of father, I would never keep my children from family or their mother, so I had sent them for Thanksgiving dinner. The day I sent them was the last time I seen their faces. They never returned. She took them from me. And then all these claims came out after I sent them for the visit. The hardest part, Lee, is having to sweep my pain under the rug. And I feel like my story doesn't matter because I'm a man, even though everything's documented for 13 years, proving the abuse on her end. All it took was one claim without evidence to completely ruin my life, take my children, attempt to leave me homeless. It's been hard. It's been hard. I spent 13 years every day of my children's lives together with them.
Oh, oh yeah. So that sucks in that situation right there, y'all. So in these spaces, that's why it does suck, because they don't have to return the kids sometimes. You know, like right there, it's not like you can send the kids and they don't have to return them because it's not kidnapping unless there's a court ordered agreement or something like that. It's not kidnapping. It's parenting. You know, and then they can just start filing frivolous things in court to try to exhaust you. They want you to give up. They want you to give up. They want you to feel like you have nothing going for you in that space right there, because you feel like you just getting dogged out because you're a man. Just like, well, I have that, you know, they want you to just give up and stop fighting, you know, like fighting to hear their voice and things like that. So it really depends on what state you're in these dynamics right here, you know, to fight the charges and what proof do you have, you know, gathering evidence, and you just, oh God, that does suck. Because what they typically do in these situations is try to start you off, like even if you haven't got convicted or something, they try to start you off on a supervised visiting schedule for kids that you never harmed before, you know, that you never done anything wrong to the kids, but they start you off as a supervised visiting schedule just based on something that somebody else said. So sometimes you have to hire attorneys, you have to do stuff like that, you know, to get it. You have to put the work in on the back end to just see your kids and hear their voices. And sometimes this can drive people to a dark, very dark place. You know, don't go to that dark place because your kids, they need you here. You know, it's a tough fight, it's an uphill fight sometimes, but don't go to that dark place because they can send you there. You know, y'all know, if y'all don't know, y'all know a dark place I'm speaking of, because it will send you there. You just feel like you don't want to be here anymore, type stuff. You know, don't do that. Don't go to the dark place. Come to the light. You know, come towards the light. You know, and stay and keep up the fight, because they want to exhaust you. They really, really do. They want you to give up and get tired. Oh, he gave up, you know, and they'll like sometimes you deal with a narcissistic person. They have like a level of sadism to them, but they will become sadistic and they take pleasure in your pain sometimes as well, y'all. So just stay strong. You know, shoot me an email if you have any other questions or whatnot. You know, who said that, Christy? Thanks. In some states, you can file for emergency custody. There was like hiring an attorney, you know, can help out. Like I said, I don't know the situation specifically, but trying to hire an attorney can definitely help you out right there. And look at the state laws, because the emergency custody, I don't know if they exist in North Carolina. You can, you know, depending upon the situation in that space right there. So that sucks.
So we'll do a few more rapid fire questions, and then we'll head over to Club Lee. Is that
so if y'all watching on TikTok and Instagram, we're doing like a live we're doing a Q&A over on YouTube right now. So the YouTube channel is right here. Click on it. You go to the link in my bio and just go to YouTube. It takes you right to the YouTube, and the live is right there, y'all. So yeah.
And we're going to do a members only share after the show as well. So you can join. Come on over to Club Lee. We'll put the link in the description, and then I'll also put the pin the video, the members only video, in this video. So here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They say it takes about 6 good times before you can truly have the strength for no contact. Do you believe that is true? I actually heard it's 7. It says 7 times. So yeah, it takes an average victim of domestic or emotional abuse 7 times to leave before you don't go back. You know, the average is 7 though, y'all. So you know, averages, you take 2 numbers, you add them together, 2 or more numbers. So it might take one person 13 times. Could take another person 1 plus 13 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. So you don't want to be, we want to be on a get the average down. Yeah, we're bringing the average down.
It took me 1, but I'm still not been struggling with the no contact. One I'm done. No contact has not been that easy.
Yeah. So me and my narc have a 1-year-old, and he left for his new supply, and she is currently pregnant. And he acts like my child doesn't exist. What should I do now? So if you haven't filed for child support, if you need child support, you should file for that right there. You know, because in these situations, it's gonna sound bad, y'all, but you can't force them to be a parent. You can't force that on them. You know, you can't force it on them. I know someone who is staying with a narcissist because they're afraid of joint custody and having a child be alone with a narc. Isn't it worse on the child staying in an abusive relationship? So in these situations right here, I think I just have
a video about that.
I have a video I posted on that very recently, because some people leave for the kids and some people stay for the kids, because a lot of people will tell you that staying in a toxic household means that the kid is surrounded by toxicity 100% of the time. I know you think you're protecting them, you're guarding them, but you and your child are both in toxicity 100% of the time. If you leave and you have joint custody, at least there's a 50% split. So your child has a 50% of the time your child is in a healthy household. I feel like those odds are way better than 100% of the time being in a toxic household, you know, in that space right there. If y'all don't know, I do have a kids book. We wrote a kids book about dealing with toxic relationships and split households and things like that. The kids book is called you can't see it on. It's called Remember It's Not Your Fault. It is on Amazon, and it helps to talk to kids. It helps you talk to kids, have a conversation with your kids about boundaries, telling the truth, and things like that. You know, divorce, when mommy and daddy are not together anymore, or daddy and daddy, mommy and mommy, whoever you are, y'all not together anymore. It helps the kids not take blame for the households being split up. That's why it's called Remember It's Not Your Fault. So I'll drop the link in the section for that, y'all. But it's on Amazon. Remember It's Not Your Fault. Vanda says, went no contact and got served mediation and joint custody papers. I'm the mom. He pays no child support. So you got served papers. That happens right there, y'all. So that's the space they try to punish you immediately. Like, you leave me, I got something for you. I'm gonna make your life harder. But sometimes, like, you say you get no child support in that space right there. Like, how does that work though? Like, no child support right now, or is it a permanent thing right there? Because I feel like you said it just happened. So, I'm dating a narcissist, and recently he allowed a female friend of his to come over at 12 a.m. saying that she was his sister. Said I was uncomfortable. He said I was controlling him. How do I communicate? You communicate that by leaving his ass. Like that gets worse. Sooner they gonna be there fucking her. Like, you been there sleeping with her, and you could be like, this made me uncomfortable. You clapping these other cheeks. Like, you're just so controlling. You don't maybe clap no cheeks. You know, no, you got to leave that person. Like that gets worse. That absolutely gets worse. You gonna be in an open relationship. You gonna be in an open relationship, or forced to have a threesome here pretty soon. That's how it starts. A female friend that's his sister at midnight. How do you communicate? You don't. You disappear. Like this right here, this ghosting. They come home to an empty house with the house so empty it echoes. Baby, you're like, honey. You know, the house so empty. You took all your shit, and the house is empty. You know, the house is echoing. That's why when my wife left, that's why I came home to you. I was so empty in here. My voice echo like. So I have experience with the empty household and echoing. Does the new supply have to be another boyfriend or girlfriend? Can it just be someone that listens, or would this be a listen to be a fly monkey? So the new supply.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't know what that was. The new supply, just for me, perspective wise, the new supply doesn't even have to be a person, y'all. The new supply could be a new job or something that they get validation from, because supply does not necessarily indicate that it's a person. The new supply could be a person. Most times it's a person, but sometimes it'd be a new job or a new hobby or something like that diverts their attention, that gives them, a lot of validation and whatnot. So that happens as well, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what that was. It's like shit haunted.
It is like they say it's a narcissistic ghost.
That was a ghost, yeah. This happens right there, y'all. So yeah.
Right. Well, we got like 2 more questions, and then we'll go on over to members only. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah, we can do members. So we're doing a members only live, y'all. So I don't know. Do we drop the link in the comments? I don't know. We put the link in there.
I'll put the description, and also or I could pin the comment section, section, and then I'm gonna also pin the actual video for members only in this video, and then put it on the community page.
Hold on, I do it like this. I'm trying to get the actual link to join on here. Yeah, it's like the members only. It's like it's a private Q&A. We do a lot of rapid fire. We have fun. It's the club. It's like the online club. Club Lee. It's funny. I dropped the link in there though, y'all. Is that my TikTokers, my Instagram folks? Hop over to the YouTube. What's that? You say another question? Okay.
I got one more question, and then we'll over. Let's see.
Why do narcs seek out and smell insecurity as if it's the only survival food that makes them so happy? I don't know. I don't know if it works that way, y'all. I don't know if it's like they smell the insecurities like it's a pheromone in there. Like I don't think the narcissist is just stepping outside in the morning and like the empaths are downwind today. It don't. I smell insecurities. So I don't think it necessarily works that way, y'all. Like hunting, like the lion comes out of there. No, I don't. When they're around you and your insecurities are just bubbling to the surface, then yeah, they can pick up on that. It's like a lot of narcissistic people are very intuitive. They can sense. I can definitely sense it. I'm like, something's going on here. I could definitely sense it, but it's not something that I'm attracted. I'm not attracted to insecurities, y'all. I'm actually attracted to strength. I like strength. I used to blast. What's that song? I used to blast. My favorite song back in the day was Miss Independent by Neo. I used to blast the damn song. That's why she don't need me. She want me. It's just like Miss Independent. That's why I just love that. I like independence. I know people will tell you that a man, an alpha male, don't want a woman that has her own stuff. We don't need it. Now, the hell with that. I like strength. I like strong women. This is me, and I think a lot of other narcissistic people they like strong people. They like the strength. The strength attracts them. Will they pick off an insecure person every once in a while? Yeah, they will pick off. Like will they separate the insecure gazelle from the rest of the crowd, like from the rest of the herd? Yes, they will do that as well, y'all. Thanks, God Favor. God Favor just gifted five mental health memberships. I didn't know how to do that, y'all. I'm gonna learn how to do that. I'm gonna do that next week.
Yeah, I want to say thank you again for that.
Thanks, God Favor. God's Favor. She been following me since the very beginning. Like since I started this in 2020, she been rolling with me. She been rocking with me. So shout out to God's Favor. Seriously. Thanks. This is cool. But yeah, shout out to her. Like seriously. So this one question mark. How is it your fault the baby was born on his birthday? Where does that come from? I saw that pop up earlier.
Yeah, I mean, they must have just been blaming, like, hey, why is this baby born on my birthday?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like you decided to push on his birthday. Okay, I got you. I was just confused by that. All right, appreciate it, y'all. But yeah. Letitia, thank you for joining the channel memberships. But yeah, shout out to y'all. But I think it's the last little bit of questions we got right here. Came in.
Do one more. Let's see.
I like that profile picture is unique. Why do I feel like I have to put on a front in order to be approved of? It's like love is conditional. I have to do everything in my power to be rewarded with love. So, I mean, just right there, when you say it's like love is conditional, because it is. When you're in a toxic relationship with a narcissistic person, love is very conditional. You have to earn it. You don't wake up getting love that day. What are you going to do to earn it today? And the crazy thing about it is, it's never enough. It's whatever you do is never enough. Like you can do the same, and the same thing you did yesterday won't work today. It's like you have to keep put on the front. You have to keep changing who you are. Like your identity is just always consistently shifting and changing in these spaces right here. You have to keep changing who you are to make this person happy, and it sucks. But it ends up never being enough.
Well, thank you guys so much for sending in questions. And I've got one more thing before we get out of here. We got the video of the week.
From me to you. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm blocked everywhere else. This is the only way I can contact you. Look, I miss you so much. The kids want us to be back together. I promise you. They told me. I promise you I didn't put them up to it. Look, I know I'm married. I know you're married. but we can be a secret family, and then we can work on it behind the scenes. Like, I know I cheated a lot when we were together. I know, I'm sorry for all of that. Look, I'll go to therapy. I'll go to church. I'll pray for you. Look, I'm praying for you right now. Look, the last time I tried holy water, it burned, but I promise you I'll try it again. Look, I love you. Whatever it takes, I'm willing to do. Bye.
That's right.
The old holy water burns. the holy water burned my throat. But that happens to y'all. So shout out y'all for tuning in tonight, y'all. Seriously. We will see y'all next week. Thanks. Yeah. Waving the red flag with your